Choose and pick the best one. Let's get it on now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one.
Yo, shonen tachiyo. How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look at Kamen Rider Genm, Zombie Gamer Level X. And this is a figure that I've been very excited to get for a very long time coming. I know I had initially said I wanted to do the Revoltech review, but I just couldn't help myself. I mean, you guys already see I already have him out the box. The review obviously will be an unboxing, but I couldn't help myself. I had to get my hands on this guy and get him out. And the Rider community has been showing the channel some love, low key. So I'm like, why not? Let's mix it up. So today we're going to be looking at as I mentioned, Kamen Rider Genm, Zombie Gamer Level X. But this is specifically the SH Figuarts Shinkocho Seiho. So basically true bone mold, in which is an upgraded mold specifically for the Rider line. And we're going to be looking at his presentation, his articulation, his accessories, and then at the end, we're going to do some comparisons to Kamen Rider Double, who is also from Shinkocho Seiho, and then we're going to do some comparisons to Kamen Rider Build, who is one of the model kits to Figuarts, which, as you can see from all the Rider stuff I have floating around here, I'm a big Rider fan, and we have a couple of extra model kits. We have Kabuto, we have Fies, we have a brand new Eternal that I haven't opened, and yeah, so let me know if you guys want to see more Rider stuff. Drop a like, subscribe to join the J family, and I hope you guys enjoy this review. Yo, shonen tachi. How's it going, everyone? Here with another J-Man Reviews. This time we're going to be taking a look at Kamen Rider Genm, Zombie Gamer Level X. I know I had originally promised to do the Let's Collect All Revoltech series today, which basically, long story short, it's a series where I painstakingly acquired every Revoltech mini, which are super rare, super cool figures that always seem to go viral online. But yet there's not reviews of these guys, and let alone a review of the whole line. So I'm going to do an episode covering each one by one, and then we're going to do a grand finale where it's probably a mega video where I, compare all of them and then do a big stop motion. I have a whole idea for it. But long story short, let's get into today's review. So Kamen Rider Genm. I feel like this guy is someone I'm super excited to open up. I know it seems weird that I started the unboxing here, but this is actually for the Shinkocho Seiho line, which is these guys. So Double, Skull, and Axel. Those are I call them the SS Riders because they're like from this special. So if you see Eternal over here, that Eternal is like, not that he's not cool because I had to get one, but that Eternal is like essentially, boom. Oh my God, I feel like I'm holding gold. That Eternal is essentially a normal SH Figuarts, an older SH Figuarts at that. And then the Shinkocho Seiho line is essentially like these upgraded mold. It's supposed to be called the bone skeleton, right? Or the real skeleton, something like true skeleton built mold. Wonderful box art. Let me get a closer look at that. Sorry, guys. It's crazy stuff. I love it. This is a figure I've actually been wanting for a really long time. I did manage to get him for a pretty good price, in my opinion. Got for like, what, 70? Yeah. But it was part of a deal that I did with somebody because I got something else from him. I got like a cape, a black cape that you can use on SH Figuarts. But I got it specifically for Eternal because the old Eternal's cape, his cape is just, wow, amazing. Sorry, guys. I'm getting interrupted by my own speech because I'm just speechless at this figure. This is a figure that I've really wanted for a long time. And put him down ever so briefly, just for the sake of completionist. We can take a quick look at this. Pretty cool, simple instructions, just swapping hands, how to change parts on the belt, and combine his weapon. Pretty cool. Yeah. So we'll put that to the side. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's take another look at this character. This is usually the section where I do, a little bit of the lore and how I got into the character. So I haven't really covered Kamen Rider too much on the channel, but I wanted to follow up on it solely due to the fact that, the look back that I did got a lot of positive reception despite it being copyright at that. So I'm like, you know what? Let's show Ryder a little love. Remember, this is a channel out of passion, so I was like, I have to show my boy some love. So let's get right into it, honestly. Honestly, this review feels more brief, and it's not my intention. It's just the figure itself, I'm not even trying to downgrade it because it looks amazing, but it's not much to cover per se. So who is Kamen Rider Genmu, for the viewer who doesn't know, and what is Kamen Rider X8? Great question. So for the viewer who doesn't know, Kamen Rider X8, of all the Kamen Riders, every Kamen Rider kind of has its own theme. So if you see the variety of riders that I have displayed, they all, I have an affection for Double, but some of these guys come from the same series, but like this small green guy, this red and blue dude, that samurai guy, this blue dragon guy, and this guy over here, Kabuto, and then Fai's that, I couldn't really get a good angle for it just for the sake of the review. I'm sorry, guys. Let me show the figure off. I couldn't get a good angle for it for the sake of the review, but wow, doesn't he look stellar? Really phenomenal. Holy schmoly. Now I'm like staring at the spinal cord, but like, look at that silver. It's just really good stuff. And then the spikes, this is why like I like my channel, not to like self-promote or anything, but I like to cover figures that even for people, and they kept the plastic on the belt, that's cool. I like to cover figures for people who even aren't familiar with these series can just look at and be like, wow, that's a cool character. And you guys can't tell me this doesn't look cool. Sick. I love the cracked visor. So yeah, who is X8? So I'll probably put a picture of it up here. And I mean it this time because the last review of Phoenix, which definitely got positive reception. Thank you, everyone. The last review of Phoenix, I said that and I didn't do it, but I'll put a picture up here really quick. He essentially is like the arch nemesis archetype of the main protagonist. And his name, the rider, as in the person who is the rider, is Dan Kuroto, who is such a meme and hilarious of a character that he actually got his own Figuarts. And I'll probably put a picture of it again up here really briefly. But it's super funny. I kind of want to get it one day. It's a little rare. Oh, it's still got the plastic on it. That's how you know it's new. It's got the plastic on it and everything. Hold on, Jap. Okay, we got the plastic off. I'm not going to mess with that. It kind of looks like a Warsman thing where it looks like if you play with it, it'll come out. Just off of me handling numerous figures alone, I could just tell off the immediate. But let's get a closer look at the belt. Let's just get into the presentation already. Wow. Camera wants to focus really quick. That belt looks stellar. I love seeing the skeletons dancing in it. Spooky, scary skeletons. His heart meter is just cracked. You can even see that. Yeah, look, there we go. Nice. The light's catching it. This is why I was actually debating on switching the angle for the reviews, but I like when the light directly hits down on the figure, because in real life, that's how you would be looking at it. I mean, unless you were displaying it on a shelf, but that's not the point of a review. That's the point of the shorts. Which, thank you for all the support on the shorts, by the way. He looks really good. So let's just start from the top. So I personally think one of my favorite parts about the X8 riders, but especially X8 himself, is this like anime hair tuft that they somehow managed to incorporate into a rider helmet. Yeah, look, he even has the hair up top. And I really love that. It kind of gives somewhat of like a Jotaro effect, kind of like with the hair. it looks really good. And then the best part is it's followed up by this sick collar that goes all the way back down into that silver spinal cord. And then you have the white and silver back. It's just, this is a really premium feeling and looking figure. Like, it looks so cool. And this is why I had to do this review for you guys, because I'm like, I know the audience, the J family, would appreciate this. How y'all feel about that? We start calling it J family. But yeah, look, shoulder pad. And what I like is it's not symmetrical. These are different pads. So, and he really sells like the cybernetic skeleton kind of look. Is why I love this figure. I love the character already. So when I saw that they nailed the 20 out of 10 figure, I wanted it. It's just for a very long time, and I guess I can kind of get into it as I keep showing off his presentation. For a very long time, rider figures, and they still kind of are, definitely are, were very expensive. It just depends on the character, and it depends on the mold. It's just like a lot of factors. I'll get into it in my collector's guide. But yeah, really good stuff. I really appreciate, I'm sorry I'm just staring at the figure myself, but I really appreciate kind of how the silver not only is super reflective, but if you notice within every speck of the silver, there are kind of like fine details within the figure. Right here within his shoulder blade. Well, I would say tricep, sorry, but his tricep shoulder pad, I guess is the way you should put it. Oh, look, that's what I mean. It's not the same. So here he has kind of like an armor gauntlet style, and then here it's more skeletal, and it looks great on both sides. And then that's accompanied by these red kind of, I don't want to call it a hydrant, but it gives like that, you know, energy of like steam coming out of it, like a steampunk. It looks really good. And obviously, if you've watched the show, you would know, I'm not even trying to rhyme there. Oh, wow, that's even cool. There's extra paint underneath. If you would watch the show, you would know that this guy pulls off all sorts of crazy anime zombie moves. But yeah, really good stuff. I just love the legs. I really love the legs. I want to highlight the belt. Sorry, I'm just a little mesmerized because not only is this extremely well painted and finely detailed, as you can see right there, but even the upper segment, I love how the red has a kind of bejeweled look, a ruby look. It's very nice. It's not like the same red as this red or that red. It feels, or even this red. No, I'm lying to you. Maybe these two rubies are the same, but these are definitely not. And again, just the detail on these rider figures is insane. The detail on the rider figures is just insane. Honestly, really great stuff. To be real with you, I'm trying to find imperfections on the figure on purpose. I mean, maybe that, maybe a little line right there, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a reviewer that is as butthurt about that kind of stuff as most reviewers would be, but I guess that would be, maybe there's a small line. But other than that, this guy looks pretty dang stellar. I wonder what these are for. This looks like a hole for like, oh no, it's just his pinhole. Oh yeah, for his ankle rock. Yep. Which, you know, we're already like 10 minutes in. Let's get into the articulation. I kind of felt like I did a pretty good job at covering, you know, the presentation. And obviously you're still going to be seeing the figure as we look at the articulation. So let's get right into it. Head articulation. Obviously a bit restricted. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a full 360. Unless I'm wrong. Oh, I am wrong. Okay. You will get a full 360. You will indeed get a full 360, man. That's good stuff. Okay, I was wrong. I thought you were going to... I guess it just depends on how you go about it. It makes sense that I struggled more this way. Oops, sorry. It makes sense that I struggled more on this side of the figure because of the kind of pipe that he has going through that right side of his face. Or should I say left side for the viewer? Or the J family. And then his other side, yeah. But it looks great. And then this actually is also articulated too. Wow. See, it's stuff like that. I'm not saying like it's not necessary, but it's appreciated. Oops. Focus was lost temporarily. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's really good stuff. And then this shoulder piece is obviously articulated. It's not a full 360, but for most figures that I've seen have shoulder pieces, this is nice. Because this is on its own. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so that's a hinge connected to the shoulder itself, and then this hinge has its own ball peg. So the shoulder's actually on a ball peg hinge combo. Makes sense why it's so good. I wonder if this one is the same. Yep. Except this one actually has more freedom because of the fact of this is obviously a more circulature shoulder pad. Yep, and then you could just click it into there. That's pretty good. And you just pop it out. Oh. Well, I'm glad we got that on camera. Because... Okay, so this one's not on a ball peg. Got it. This one is. This one's just on a hinge straight up. Okay, so you got to be a little mindful of that. But honestly, still not really restrictive. I guess it's just more so how you handle it. I'm new to this figure, so it is definitely just more so how you handle it. It looks pretty good, though. Feels good to handle, easy to use. I mean, he did have it on the box, my favorite tagline. Oops, sorry. Simple style, heroic action. On all the Figuarts, man. But yeah, full swivel here. Full 360, seamless. Nice, nice. Double jointed elbow. And then the camera. And then nice 360 on his fist, followed by a nice spin. He looks pretty good. He feels good to handle. And I like that his wrists, if you want, you can even like stretch them out a little bit. Yep, you can kind of see it there. Yeah, you can stretch the wrist out a little bit or push them back in to get a little extra something, you know? Then the ab crunch. Let me put him in his neutral stance. I feel like that's always the best way to highlight the ab crunch. Pretty dang good for the kind of figure that he is. I like how smooth this feels back here. That's nice. Pretty dang good for the kind of figure that he is, I would say. Obviously, it's not like the craziest in the world, right? Yeah, it's not the craziest. But again, for his design, not too bad. You can definitely still sell the damaged, yeah. You can still sell the damaged shots. Pretty good. Let's see how this, okay. Okay, you do get a 360. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't really go for it. You get it. Yeah, you can do the spin, but I wouldn't really go for it. It doesn't really feel like he's designed for that. And it didn't feel good when I just tried to do that. That's just a personal opinion. Okay, so legs, pretty good up. Side is a little lacking there, I'm not gonna lie. Or maybe just the joint is tight. Hold on. Okay, well I figured this had to slightly articulate. He cannot get a Yujiro split, guys. He does not pass the Yujiro test. I mean, these kind of figures, the rider, well, let me not say that, because double can get some crazy poses. But I guess just this design doesn't allow for that. So he didn't pass the Yujiro test. That is, I don't want to say no bueno, but double jointed knee is nice though. Tell me that knee doesn't look good. That's a really good looking knee. We've seen some ugly knees on the channel so far. That's a pretty nice one. Then we have, I guess this kind of doubles down on presentation, but I really love how his leg straps, I just love how this guy looks. The leg straps, the black, the white stripe accents. Again, this is the kind of figure where even if you don't know Ryder, you'd look at him and be like, whoa, that's a cool character. Yeah. What I will say though, he doesn't get the Yujiro split, but he does get a really nice full 360 swivel here seamlessly. That felt good. He does get the double jointed knee plus that, so you can get some nice, you know what I mean? Exactly. You can get some nice seated poses if you want pretty easily. Like, that was not even a struggle. And then just come back here. Honestly, pretty good. Again, especially for his design. You would think a design like this would limit the figure more, but it doesn't. I would have liked for this to be a little more articulated. Maybe I could spin it back. Yeah. Okay, well, if you spin it back, okay, hold on. Hold on. We're handling the figure chat. No, that's not a Yujiro split. He still doesn't pass. It's better, but he still doesn't pass. But most of the time, if he was doing a rider kick, you could still get that going. Yeah. Could still get that going pretty easily. Rider kick. Doesn't really seem like an issue to me. But again, if you wanted him to do the Yujiro split, if that was something that is your barometer or your bar test, then he doesn't pass. So back to the ankle. Nice swivel here. Full 360. Again, seamless. Feels very nice to handle and secure. I've handled figures, I'm sure other collectors have too, where the ankles feel very flimsy and loose. And then sometimes when you're trying to rotate or mess with the ankle freaking comes off. And it's annoying. And you don't want that. So I like this right here. Nice toe articulation. Really good. You can really sell like the preparation shot, like you're about to charge up at someone, or you're like maybe a defensive stance. Yeah, like you're taking an attack. And then you're like, sliding back. Shh. Pretty cool. Honestly, I'm not trying to make this review shorter than the others, but I just feel like this character is very straightforward. He's a cool looking skeleton zombie rider. Like, I don't know what more there is to say other than he's freaking awesome. He's freaking awesome. I really like him. I'm not wrapping up the review. I'm just giving some thoughts. But yeah, that kind of covers the articulation. Yeah, full 360 here. Nice up here. I mean, he's pretty good stuff. Very easy to handle too, which is funny because I thought I actually would have to manipulate these more, but they're kind of just doing it on its own, even these parts. And I actually appreciate that. It's less mumbo jumbo because there's other figures like even like Axel is you have to manipulate. If you want to actually get full posability out of Axel, and let me know if you guys want more rider reviews. If you want more posability out of Axel, you have to definitely mess with his shoulder pads first. But Genmu, he doesn't feel like that. Feels pretty dang good. And he looks super cool. Tell me this is not a cool figure, guys. J family. Tell me it's not a cool figure, J family. Sick. But let's get into the accessories. So it's really not much. I'm not going to lie to you. Similar to Phoenix, Well, actually less than Phoenix, because at least Phoenix had like, what, 3, 4 heads? This guy doesn't have any extra heads, it's just the hands. So let's take a look. I love the... So that's like his zombie pose hands, where he does with these right here. See if we get a promo shot of it. Yep, they got a promo shot of it on the box. There we go. I love that. He looks so cool. We're gonna definitely go crazy with the short with him. But yeah, super cool. And then these are like grabbing hands. Those are kind of like, they look kind of like drama hands. Yeah, those are drama hands. So zombie hands, grabbing hands, drama hands. Obviously, these hands could have numerous uses just the way they're molded, but I'm just trying to give them terms. Weapon hands for sure. And then surprisingly, gun hands. Yeah, those are gun hands. I mean, it makes sense because these weapons right here, let's see if I get that out for you guys. Yeah. These weapons right here in the series, they kind of like double, triple up in terms of usage. As with most rider weapons, right? Like they have more than one function. The sword is also a gun. The gun is also a shield. You know what I'm trying to say. And they look really good. Very well painted. I mean, you can even see it in the lighting. I love this kind of, and this is actually a different red than the ruby that I mentioned earlier. It's more of a sapphire. It looks really good. Accented by this yellow. I wish the yellow was a bit more on the gold side, but it's not meant to be on the gold side because of the character that it comes from, which is a different character called Paradigm. But I won't get too much into the X8 stuff. I want you guys to watch it. But yeah, it looks really good. There's a reason one is red and one is blue. And then I love the handle. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, camera. It looks really good. Let's try combining them. Looks super good. So when you combine them, you see how it has this trigger right here? He kind of holds it to the side. Oops, sorry. He holds it to the side like a gun, and then he literally shoots them. Which, we'll get that. Let's get that set up on him real quick. Yeah, looks pretty great. I try to give him a little bit of a zombie-like pose. Looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I personally am really digging the figure so far. This is a figure I've wanted for a long time. Maybe I shouldn't have left the pose just yet, sorry. Give you guys a quick, cool pose. But yeah, final thoughts. I know this one seems shorter, but I'm trying to make the reviews a bit more professional and compact, and Kinnikuman being one of my main focuses on the channel, I want to have that Kinnikuman content be as professional as possible. That way Kinnikuman can gain the widest exposure possible. So I try to use me giving my passion to other series as practice. So if you guys enjoyed this review, please drop a like, subscribe if you'd like to join the J family, and, you know, let me know if you want to see more reviews like this. I love Rider. If you guys want to see more Rider stuff, let me know. But final thoughts for the figure. I think this guy is pretty great. I mean, he can't do the Yujiro split. I'm going to be honest about that. But other than that, his back leg is a bit restricted, I will admit. So those are two major flaws. I guess you could say his leg, his rear or additional dynamicism in the leg or slap hip area is a bit lacking. But other than that, I think he's pretty great. I think the fact that he's not super restricted by his shoulder pads is a blessing, as you can see of me handling the figure. And I guess one complaint that I do kind of have is, and I guess it wouldn't really matter unless you're like proactively playing with it, is sometimes when I'm handling this, yeah, these guys spin around. So it's like you really, kind of like old school toys where you had to, remember how guys had to pull down the accessory to really get it to squeeze in the hand? So it's probably something I can fix, but that's a little annoying. Other than that, though, stellar paint job. Stellar. I think the presentation kind of carries this figure a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Not saying that articulation isn't good. Articulation is good, but as you can see, he was lacking in the hips there, right? And on top of lacking in the hips, he lacks in accessories. And that is something that, for his price point, I mean, again, I paid like 70 or 60, but that's because I got kind of like a group purchase with this, and I bought a black cape from the guy, so he gave me a deal. But the point I'm making is, yeah, I mean, that's still pretty good. I like that pose. I think these are cool. He still gets pretty good poses, man. It's just, he doesn't really get like a deep butterfly because of his chest, you know? So you can't really get, I mean, you can still get cross-armed poses, but probably not as deep as someone would want. Yeah, you can still get it if maybe you manipulate the biceps. Yeah, I mean, that's still pretty good to me. What do you guys think? I think he still looks pretty cool. Maybe I take back what I said. I mean, he does have a... Oh, put too much force there, sorry. He does have, yeah. Let me see if the light could pick that up. Yeah, he does have what seems to be, yeah, I mean, it's super limited, but a slight butterfly joint. I still think he looks pretty good. I like the presentation of the figure. I think his articulation is decent. Like, it's great in some areas, but then restricted in others. But again, I think for his design, it's pretty stellar. And I think he is one of those figures that, rule of cool, even if you don't like Ryder, he kind of is cool enough that you would want to be like, yo, who is that? What's Ryder about? And that's kind of the point of my channel is, obviously, I have a niche, but within that niche, we aim to expose the niche to mainstream. And what I mean by that is the content is created for general audiences, not for just hardcore fans. Because hardcore fans are just appreciating the love that is poured into the reviews in the first place. And I appreciate you guys. Community has been growing rapidly, so I really appreciate everyone's support. I know I talk about the community a lot, but it's important to me. Anyways, yeah, really great stuff. I think he's a great figure. If you can get him for cheap, and when I say cheap, obviously this is a Cinco Chosejo, which is like the higher end rider figures. I say somewhere between 60 and 70 is nice, because some people are charging more. I remember when this guy first came out and then I was trying to import him, people were charging like 180, one something, crazy prices. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Even though I love the design and I love the figure, they just know that. And I think that's what's kind of predatory about the hobby. They know that there's only a certain number of Western fans that actually care, so they're gonna hike. But anyways, that's my Kamen Rider Genmu review. I'll probably post a couple photos after this. Actually, let's do a quick comparison. I'm sorry about that. Let's compare him to Kamen Rider Double. So you can see this is also a Cinco Chosejo, but you can see there's a big difference in the mold. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, the rear is superior here. He doesn't have that restricted rear end. And then let's see if he gets the Yujiro split. So he gets a full, yeah, he does. He gets a full back. And then, I mean, it's not the ultimate Yujiro split, but that's just because of how his thigh is molded. But he does get it more than Exate. Yeah. And then technically, if you come out here, he kind of gets it, but it's not true at that point because it's not really a split, yeah. But you guys get the point that I'm making. He's a lot less restricted than that guy. Just a little mini comparison. It's not super in-depth or nothing. And then we have, this is the Figuarts build. This is a model kit. Yeah. I mean, Yujiro split. Oh, wow, that's crazy. The model kit gets the Yujiro split, guys? The model kit gets the Yujiro split. Holy smoly. But yeah, that's it for the review. I just want to throw that in really quick. If you guys enjoy this, drop a like, please. Subscribe, join the Genm family. Drop a comment. I want to see some comments. We actually got some comments yesterday on the Muscle Grand Prix video, and that was nice. I enjoyed that conversation. So let me know if you guys want to see Kamen Rider Eternal next, because obviously he's still in the box. I just got him too. And then I also have never built Kabuto and Faiz. So technically we have a lot of rider content that I can do. I just got to know if you guys want to see it, because obviously it's not one of my main focuses on the channel. But hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you around on the next J-Man reviews. Sarabada, Shonen Tachio. Hope you guys are having a good one, man. Okay, this is just bonus footage, but he looks super cool, man. Super cool. We're gonna go crazy with him in the shorts. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. See you next time. Really been loving this, guys. Thank you so much for the support.